Hi everyone, welcome to the next episode of our Senior Secondary series. Over the last few weeks, we've had a look at all sorts of resources that can be found through the State Library website. We've got specific VCE research guides for certain subjects. We've gone through how to find certain databases for specific subjects as well. We've looked at how to find historical newspapers, how to find contemporary newspapers, and all sorts of things that you can use in your studies this year. Today's episode is simply a highlight reel of all of the best things that you can use through the State Library website. So let's get started. Your one-stop shop for research is this Search and Discover tab here. If you're on an iPad, make sure it's in landscape mode and then click on the blue box. If you're not already a member, just click up here, become a member, scroll down, click there, fill in the information that it's asking you. You'll get a text message to your phone that will have a barcode on it. And as we get to the more in-depth resources on the website, it will ask you to put your barcode in, and that's it. It's ready. It's already on your phone. Okay, so we're back here at the Search and Discover tab. If you scroll down, you can see there's our catalogue search. So if we search something like, I'll just do an easy topic. Let's say Northcote. I'm sure some of you probably live in Northcote. And then search. The key thing to remember about our catalogue is that it's going to show you everything that we have in the State Library collection. Some of it's available online and some of it you have to go on site for. You can't go on site at the moment, but all you have to do is click online items on this right hand side. And then you need to further refine. So you can refine by subject, you can refine by resource type. So you might want pictures, maps, newspapers, anything to do with Northcote. It's really important when you do your initial search in the catalogue that you use broad key terms. So you wouldn't type necessarily Northcote, pictures of Northcote. You would just type Northcote and then choose the resource type when you're refining to pictures. So you can see here, there's all different pictures of Northcote, and I need to refine a bit further. I'm talking about the Northcote that's from Victoria, for example. And then I can click on whichever one I want. And then it's a little bit hard to see sometimes, that link to online resource. And there it is there. If I want to cite it, I go to catalogue record. And there's all the information that I need. I can click on the citation, does it all for you, which is really handy. I can email it to myself if I think it's useful. So that's just a basic overview of the catalogue. We'll head further down the tab now. So we've got our digital image pool here. Let's use the same example. These are all images that are out of copyright, and they're all digitized images that we have in our collection. So these are things that won't be found with a simple Google image search. So it gives you research that edge. Moving further down the tab, so catalogue, image pool, research guides. You need to click on view all and then scroll down. Now, if you're doing IB or VCAL, there might be specific research guides here that will be really useful for you. If you're doing BCE, just right down the bottom on the left there, click on that. You've got BCE, Ancient History, Australian History, English and Lit, Global Politics and Revolutions. So just as an example, there's English and Lit here. These are the tabs up the top that take you to the different areas that you need to go to. So list 1, you click on novels. Scroll down, we've got every book in the English and Literature curriculum. The first one, resources at the library. You can see it's all resources at the library. It's the first one. That's generally things you have to come on site for. So skip over that to the reviews, the interviews, analysis, and videos. They're what's going to be useful for you at the moment. Back to those guides, some of them are organized a little bit differently. So if we go to, for example, Australian history, these are the different areas of study. You click on them and then scroll down, and it's got key resources organized like this. So it just looks a little bit different to the other guide. When you go to download an ebook, that's when you'll need your membership number. Okay, we'll head back to Search and Discover, scroll down. The final thing that I absolutely love, which is really useful, is these databases. These are the 4 most popular databases, and ProQuest is one of my favorites, and PressReader as well. But if you click more databases and then scroll down, past the newspapers bit there, you can see that they're organized by subject. So if I'm doing something to do with health and medicine, I can go to ProQuest Health and Medicine, for example. If I'm doing something to do with music, I can go to these music databases over here. Really easy to follow. A little trick is to go to View A to Z, and instead of all databases, just go to secondary students. And these are particularly useful ones for secondary students. Doesn't mean you can't find them from the subject area, but this is just sort of an easy way to get to it. So Gale Literature is great for English and literature. Press Reader is great for up-to-date newspapers, magazines from all over the world. ProQuest is a great general database. It has pretty much everything you could imagine in it. Trove is great for history. The Age is great for looking at contemporary issues in Australia. Let's have a look at ProQuest as an example. Let's say I want to look at something to do with emotional well-being. ProQuest won't fix your spelling mistakes for you either, so just be careful with that. I use these left-hand refining tools to refine further. So I want something from the last 12 months because I want really up-to-date information on emotional well-being, for example. And obviously use this for whatever subject you're doing. I'm just using an example here. So it's applied my filters of the last 12 months and I've got full text. I could choose newspapers if I wanted to have a look at what newspapers were saying about emotional well-being at the moment. And then once I'm done with that, I can clear that, just click out of that, and I might want to look at scholarly journals or books. I can also add some key terms in here with the subject: mental health, COVID-19, children and youth, families, etc. Once I find one I like the title of, I can click it, and here's the article here. So once I'm in the article, I can search for a key term. Let's say I'm looking at negative experiences or something like that. Any other synonyms, your keyword might not come up straight away. You need to think of other synonyms for that word to see if there's any, it's being presented in a different way. I can also cite this article if I find it useful. I can email it to myself, save it, etc. Just remember, when you're looking through these databases, they are quite complex. So if you're finding you're not really understanding it, it's not really useful, move on to a different one. Use your Control F trick and see if you can find some information that is useful for you. Because for some of these articles, you'd need to be in your 4th year at uni studying science and medicine to understand it. So just make sure that you find the ones that are appropriate for you. So we'll head back to the ProQuest general search, and if you just click up here, you can get back to the normal ProQuest section. So in one of the last episodes, we looked at how to find historical newspapers online. So if you go over here and you choose historical newspapers there, and then use your key terms, remember to keep them broad. Let's say you're studying World War II, search, and then use these refining tools down the left-hand side. We want to choose a publication date that gives us a primary source, so from that time period. So we might choose 1939 to 1940, and then we can have a look at these fascinating, extraordinary articles that show amazing information about the beginning of World War II as an example. And again, you can cite it, download it, email it to yourself, etc. So we'll head back to the main page, and I'm just going to show you one more database that we touched on briefly in the series. Back at that Search and Discover tab, scroll down, more databases, scroll down, you can go to View A to Z, and then choose Secondary Students. Press Reader. This is another fantastic database that has up-to-date articles, magazines, newspapers from all over the world. If you're studying a different language, this can be really useful. Or even if you have someone in your home who wants to read newspapers from Italy, you might have an Italian background, you can get those here for free. So let's go to countries. We might choose Italy as an example. And then you can see there's all newspapers and magazines from Italy. If we want to have a look at Australia, we can find all of Australian Vogue and things like that if you're studying fashion. So they're the main things from the series that I think are very useful. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please let us know if there's anything specific you'd like us to cover. Thanks everyone, see you soon.